On May 12, 2025, the full moon in Scorpio arrives like a sacred storm, unyielding, mystical, and necessary. According to astrologer Jessica Ward, this moon is not gentle, it is surgical. It slices through illusions and penetrates straight to the soul's edge. But it doesn't do this to harm, it does it to awaken. Under Scorpio's influence, the heart is asked to let go of its disguises. This is not about drama, it's about depth. It's about seeing clearly what no longer resonates and making space for what your soul is truly ready to hold. This moon demands truth, and truth will transform you. The alchemy of Scorpio, turning pain into power. Scorpio is not afraid of the dark. It lives there. It studies pain like a teacher, loss like a ritual. Under this full moon, you'll feel the call to meet what you've been avoiding, not to fix it, but to listen to it. Pain becomes the fire that purifies. This isn't about suffering. It's about refining what's real. Your wounds hold codes. They are not curses. They are the cracked open chambers where your soul learned resilience. This full moon is alchemical. Like lead becoming gold, it urges you to take your emotional heaviness and ask, what is this trying to become inside me? It's not about pushing emotions away, but about holding them with reverence. Feelings you've labeled as weaknesses are really power that hasn't been reclaimed. Scorpio doesn't just feel deeply, it transforms through feeling. It lets emotion dig until truth is found. You may find yourself reflecting on betrayal, abandonment, or grief. These aren't detours, they're the initiation. Scorpio energy says, don't go around it, go through it. Let the rage speak. Let the tears cleanse. Let the silence follow. When you stop resisting the descent, you start ascending in ways you couldn't plan. The alchemy isn't instant, it's sacred. It asks for stillness, presence, and willingness to die to the old so something radiant can be born. Don't fear the crumbling. What remains will be truth. And once you've held that truth in your bare hands, you will never forget how powerful you truly are. Why this full moon triggers soul-level truths. Scorpio doesn't operate on the surface. It dives deep, bypassing polite explanations and going straight to the soul's encrypted truth. That's why under this full moon, you may feel emotions rise from places you thought were long buried. It's not regression, it's revelation. This is your inner being asking to be fully known. When truth surfaces, it often comes wrapped in discomfort. You might see dynamics in your life you've ignored, relationships draining you, patterns repeating, dreams you've shelved. These aren't accidents. This full moon doesn't whisper truth. It demands it. It shows you what's misaligned, not to shame you, but to set you free. What rises now may feel raw, grief, longing, frustration, even confusion. That's part of the soul's detox. These feelings are not problems to fix. They are signals that truth has found a crack in your walls and is asking to pour through. This is your essence, seeking clarity. You might find yourself speaking things you've held back. Truth won't be content to hide in your throat. It wants voice. It wants breath. And it wants space. You're not being reckless. You're finally being real. That shift alone can transform timelines around you. This full moon invites truth not just in words, but in energy, in how you show up, in what you walk away from without explanation, in the quiet refusal to pretend. That is soul-level honesty. That is spiritual integrity. That is Scorpio's invitation to evolve. Let this moon show you what's been aching to rise. And know this, once soul truth comes out of hiding, it will never settle for half versions of you again. This is not exposure, it's emergence. and your soul has waited lifetimes to speak without disguise. Shadow meets light. The sacred purge begins. Jessica explains that Scorpio governs the underworld not because it's dark, but because it's honest. It doesn't fear the shadow. It recognizes it as part of the sacred whole. And when the full moon shines in this sign, it creates a spiritual tension. Light meets shadow, and something must be released. This isn't a simple letting go. It's a purge, a flushing of what's toxic, fake, or outdated in your field. Don't be surprised if you feel emotionally flooded. Scorpio's shadow work is never half-hearted. When it moves, it clears entire chapters, not with violence, but with absolute clarity. You might feel urges to clean your space, cut cords, cry unexpectedly, or delete contacts that once felt important. This is your intuition taking over. Don't overanalyze it. The sacred purge doesn't come with a script. It's a soul-led cleansing that makes room for authenticity to breathe. The deeper the purge, the more silence it may require. Don't rush to explain your choices. Let the energy speak for you. Some will understand, some won't. But the Scorpio moon isn't about pleasing others. It's about freeing yourself from energetic debt. As you release, don't fear the void. That space isn't empty. It's fertile. It's where new connections, insights, and direction will soon arrive, but only once the field is clear. That's what makes Scorpio's purge so powerful. It doesn't just clear space. It calls in what's aligned. Allow yourself to feel everything, and trust that anything leaving your life now is making way for something that matches the version of you that is becoming. This is sacred grief, sacred fire, sacred emptiness, and from it, your soul will rise like never before. Emotional truth will erupt like lava. Scorpio full moons don't create feelings, they reveal what's already boiling beneath. Think of emotional truth like lava under the earth, pressurized, hot, ancient. This moon cracks the crust. Suddenly, what was hidden is flowing. And if you let it, it can cleanse everything in its path. You might cry without knowing why. You might speak with a sharpness you didn't plan. You may feel raw, exposed, uncertain. That's okay. What's erupting isn't chaos, it's clarity. Feelings long held down rise not to destroy, but to release the weight they've been carrying. This eruption isn't just about sadness. It's about unmet needs, stifled truths, suppressed power. The heat you feel is life force energy trying to move through blocked emotional channels. Let it move. Let it burn. But don't judge the fire. It knows what it's doing. During this time, honesty may arrive before diplomacy. Be mindful, but not afraid. Emotional truth doesn't need to be loud to be powerful. Sometimes the quietest confessions carry the most light. What matters is that it's real, and this moon honors only what is real. Eruptions can change landscapes, but afterward, the air is clearer, and the ground is more fertile. That's the magic of this full moon. It breaks apart emotional falsehoods so that spiritual authenticity can bloom, not from performance, but from embodied presence. Let the lava rise. Let it move through the old stories and burned out roles. What remains will be purified. You won't lose yourself in the fire. You'll finally find who's been waiting behind all the silence. You, undeniable, undefended, and alive. Jessica Ward on the Astrology of Radical Rebirth. According to Jessica, this full moon is not just emotional, it's cosmic. The planetary alignments around May 12 form a rare energetic structure designed to catalyze radical rebirth. Scorpio, as a sign, already governs transformation. But this lunation is supercharged by additional planetary forces, all pointing to one thing: nothing stays the same. Mars, Scorpio's ancient ruler, adds pressure, pushing us to act on instinct. Pluto, Scorpio's modern ruler, deepens it, urging us to face the truth with intensity. Together, they create a portal where inner death and outer rebirth move hand in hand. You aren't just feeling this moon, you're becoming it. Expect sudden insights about your path, your desires, your identity. Not gentle nudges, more like inner earthquakes. You might leave jobs, end relationships, start projects you'd only dreamed of. This is the universe whispering, the waiting is over, and you'll feel it in your bones. Jessica emphasizes that this isn't destruction, it's returning to essence. The rebirth doesn't make you new, it makes you true. Everything superficial, performative, or avoidant will fall away. What's left is you, aligned with your soul contract and stripped of everything that once diluted it. This lunar window is brief, but profound. You're being asked to trust something deeper than logic, a cellular knowing that it's time to shed old skin and stand in new light. You don't need all the answers. You just need to say yes to the fire and walk through it. Scorpio doesn't destroy what matters. It destroys what hides what matters. And this moon, charged, precise, unflinching, is your invitation to remember who you were before the world told you to forget. Your deepest fear will reveal your hidden gift. Scorpio energy has a sacred way of dragging fear out of the subconscious and laying it bare. During this full moon, don't be surprised if your most persistent fear rises to the surface, not to paralyze you, but to reveal something deeper, your hidden gift. Fear, when fully faced, turns into insight. Maybe it's a fear of abandonment, failure, rejection, or loss. But look closer. Inside that fear is a truth you've been afraid to own. Perhaps you fear losing control because you're meant to teach surrender. Perhaps you fear being seen because your light is needed more than you know. Scorpio doesn't stir fear to hurt you. It activates it to free you. This full moon will illuminate how that very fear has shaped your decisions, your relationships, your self-worth. And when you choose to face it with presence, something magical happens. It loses its hold. What remains in its place is power. Quiet, honest, embodied power. The kind that no one can take from you. The kind that becomes your gift to the world. You don't have to destroy your fear. You only have to walk through it. What you'll find on the other side is yourself. Karmic cycles reach their point of closure. According to Jessica, this full moon in Scorpio marks a turning point for unresolved karmic loops. These may appear as repeated emotional themes, relationship patterns, or persistent self-sabotage behaviors that have played out over years, or even lifetimes. But now something shifts. The wheel slows down. You'll likely notice moments that feel eerily familiar, a déjà vu that isn't just memory, but recognition. This is your soul saying, "We've been here before." And this time, we finish it. Not through revenge, reactivity, or control, but through conscious closure. The karmic cycle ends when you choose a new response. Scorpio energy doesn't let you bypass. It makes you feel it all, deeply and clearly. That's exactly what breaks the loop. You stop repeating what you finally understand. Whether it's a family wound, an inner belief, or an old soul tie, this full moon brings the mirror close enough to see clearly. And once you truly see it, you can walk away, not bitter, not broken, but whole. Karmic closure doesn't require drama. Sometimes it's just the quiet decision to no longer carry what isn't yours. This moon invites that release. A sacred ending, so your next beginning has room to live. Scorpio moon and the psychic gate activation. Scorpio is the gatekeeper of the unseen realms. Under this full moon, your intuitive and psychic senses may heighten, sometimes so suddenly it's disorienting. Dreams may intensify. Symbols may follow you. You may feel others' energy more deeply than ever before. You're not imagining it. This is what happens when the veil thins. Scorpio governs the liminal space between worlds, and when the full moon shines through it, the invisible becomes visible. You may feel your inner knowing turn into full-blown messages, clear guidance, gut instincts, and quiet voices from your soul or ancestral line. This is not about becoming psychic as an identity. It's about remembering that you already are. The Scorpio full moon reminds you that you've always had access. What changes now is your willingness to trust it, to speak it, and to stop gaslighting your own insight. Don't be surprised if you're called to divination, meditation, or rituals at this time. Your soul is tuning into ancient memory. Your body is adjusting to receive multidimensional communication. Let the psychic gates open gently. Don't force them. Just say yes when they knock. Nothing superficial survives this lunar field. Jessica emphasizes that Scorpio's lunar light is not kind to the surface level. It reveals where things have been hollow, half-truthful, or energetically draining. Whether it's friendships, projects, or even internal habits, anything lacking depth will feel increasingly heavy or misaligned. This is not punishment. It's truth coming to collect. You may feel drawn to step back from conversations that go nowhere, social media that feels empty, or commitments that don't reflect your soul. That instinct is sacred. This full moon is calling you to declutter your energetic field, and what doesn't hold real resonance will fall away. This isn't about being harsh or dramatic. It's about choosing integrity over appearance, choosing essence over performance. Scorpio is precise like a scalpel. It cuts away the dead weight so something alive can finally breathe. And you will feel lighter every time you let go of what no longer nourishes you. There is no room for performance in this energy. The moon is asking, what is real? Anything that can't answer from the heart won't last. And in its absence, you'll begin to feel what's truly yours, rich, quiet, and pulsing with the frequency of your next evolution. Your relationships will mirror your shadow. This full moon doesn't just reveal who you are, it reflects it through the people closest to you. Scorpio energy, at its core, is about intimacy and power exchange. That means your relationships will become mirrors, some soft, others confrontational, but all clear. Every interaction is an initiation. You might notice emotional reactions rising that feel out of proportion. They aren't. They're indicators. That argument, that trigger, that tenderness, it's showing you something unintegrated. This moon brings out our unconscious patterns not to cause pain, but to offer the chance to heal them in real time. It's also possible that others will begin revealing their truth, truths you weren't prepared for, or have long sensed but never voiced. Stay grounded. These moments are sacred thresholds. You're not being betrayed. You're being shown. And what you do next will decide what stays in your field. Use this time to practice radical honesty, first with yourself, then with others. The Scorpio full moon doesn't want you to cut people out just for triggering you. It wants you to explore what was touched. Behind every emotional flare is a truth longing to be loved back into wholeness. The power of release, a full body reset. Jessica teaches that this Scorpio full moon offers more than emotional clarity. It offers a somatic reboot. Release doesn't happen in the mind alone. It must be lived through the body. You may find your shoulders suddenly dropping, your breath deepening, or fatigue washing through as your system begins letting go. This is the nervous system exhaling after carrying years of suppressed truth. You might feel the need to cry, stretch, move, or lie still for hours. Let it happen. The more permission you give the body to release, the more fully you step into regeneration. The soul heals through feeling it fully. This kind of release isn't loud. It's sacred. A subtle unraveling of tension, of armor, of postures you didn't realize you've held just to stay safe. Scorpio dissolves the illusion of safety through tension and replaces it with safety through authentic embodiment. You're not breaking, you're softening. Full body reset doesn't come from one ritual or journal entry. It comes from saying yes to your inner tides over and over again. This moon reminds you that your body is wise, your emotions are honest, and healing doesn't require control, only deep, consistent surrender. Spiritual detox will replace emotional suppression. This full moon's energy doesn't just invite you to feel, it insists. Emotional suppression, avoidance, and distraction tactics will suddenly feel unbearable. That's because the soul is no longer interested in managing symptoms. It wants to cleanse the root, fully, permanently, and gently. Don't be surprised if old feelings erupt seemingly out of nowhere. They're not random. They're echoes of unprocessed truths returning for love, not punishment. Scorpio asks, can you let this move through instead of keeping it locked in the basement of your being? This isn't a breakdown. It's a spiritual detox, the kind that purges the unspoken, uncried, and ungrieved so the real you can finally emerge. You may feel like you're emptying. That's because you are. But what feels like loss is space being made for presence. Under this moon, healing doesn't come from control. It comes from release. You don't have to solve everything. You just have to stop holding it in. Let the tears, the truth, and the trembling come. What leaves you now was never meant to be part of the next version of you. The nervous system prepares for frequency overhaul. Jessica points out that Scorpio governs the deep undercurrents of energy, not just emotions, but the bioelectrical system of the body. During this full moon, your nervous system may begin adapting to a higher frequency. You may feel overstimulated, fatigued, or highly alert without knowing why. This isn't burnout. It's a recalibration. Your inner circuitry is adjusting so it can carry a new signal, one of clarity, truth, and intuitive alignment. This can look like headaches, vivid dreams, skin sensitivity, or the sudden urge to be still for long periods of time. Listen to it. The nervous system is wise. It remembers every trauma, every intuition ignored, every truth whispered but dismissed. Scorpio's energy doesn't erase that, it brings it into focus. And once acknowledged, the body begins rewiring itself, not toward perfection, but toward integrity with the soul. To support this process, create moments of energetic rest. Gentle breath work, cold water, slow walks, and tech-free stillness are not indulgent. They are required. The more space you give your nervous system to adapt, the more gracefully you move through this initiation. You're not falling apart. You're tuning in. This moon brings the courage to end the loop. Scorpio doesn't offer comfort. It offers liberation. And sometimes that means ending cycles we've become addicted to. Whether it's a thought pattern, a toxic tie, or a life rhythm that no longer feeds you, this full moon delivers the energy to end the loop once and for all. Ending loops takes more than awareness. It takes courage, the kind that lets you disappoint others to honor yourself, the kind that walks away without drama, simply because peace is louder. Scorpio gives you the backbone to close what once defined you without apology. This moon isn't pushing you into recklessness, it's inviting you into resolution. The soul knows when a lesson is complete. You may feel it as an exhaustion that won't lift or a sudden knowing that this is done. Trust it. Don't argue with what your body and soul already agree upon. When you end the loop, you don't just change your life. You shift timelines. You step out of the karmic spiral and into clarity. This is not abandonment. The water element becomes firelit consciousness. Scorpio is a water sign, yes, but it's fixed water, ruled by Mars and Pluto. That means it doesn't just flow, it burns. Under this full moon, the emotional waters become lit from within. This is not drowning in feeling. It's feeling as fuel. Water that purifies through fire. You'll feel this when your intuition suddenly becomes urgent or when a buried truth erupts with clarity. This moon charges your emotional body with transformative heat. Tears don't weaken, they awaken. Anger doesn't destroy, it illuminates. Emotion becomes a compass, not a cage. This element of firelit water gives rise to creativity, instinct, and embodiment. You may feel the urge to dance, paint, speak, or leave without planning. That's not chaos. It's your soul moving energy through the body, clearing space for aligned action. Let it express. Let it initiate. What once felt murky will begin to glow. And from that glow, something new takes shape, not from logic, but from aliveness. When water meets fire under Scorpio's moon, the soul doesn't stay quiet. It rises. It moves. It becomes truth in motion. Scorpio's tail points to soul resurrection. The symbol of Scorpio isn't just the scorpion. It's also the phoenix. Scorpio's tail, with its sting, represents more than pain. It signifies the precise moment we die to what is false, so we can resurrect what is eternal. Under this full moon, that energy intensifies tenfold. You may find yourself needing to speak a truth that feels like fire in the throat. That's the sting. You may end something with finality, feeling both loss and relief. That's the death. And then, often quietly, something new will rise inside you. Not an idea, but a new self. This resurrection doesn't require applause. It doesn't need to be witnessed. It's subtle but absolute. Secrets will surface to liberate, not shame. One of the most powerful traits of Scorpio is its ability to reveal what has long been hidden. And under this full moon, Jessica reminds us, secrets, whether yours or others, are likely to rise, but not for judgment, for liberation. Secrets lose their poison when exposed to the light. What you feared would break everything may actually set things right. Whether it's a truth you've buried or a reality you've sensed but never acknowledged, now is the time for radical honesty. Not loud, not dramatic, just true. Silence will speak louder than words tonight. As this Scorpio moon rises to its peak, you'll notice a strange kind of silence. It's not empty. It's charged. It holds weight, meaning, and presence. This is the kind of silence where transformation happens, not in sound, but in stillness that cuts through illusion like a blade. You might find that you have no words for what you feel. That's okay. This moon doesn't need eloquence. It needs honesty. Some truths don't need to be spoken aloud. They need to be lived quietly, firmly, with unwavering clarity that radiates without sound. The phoenix rises from your emotional ashes. Jessica often says the phoenix is not a myth. It's a metaphor for the soul's most courageous act, to rise again, knowing what it cost to burn. And under this Scorpio full moon, that energy becomes reality. You're not just letting go, you're becoming something new. You'll know this moment by how calm it feels. Not euphoric, but steady. like a quiet exhale after surviving the fire. The person you were no longer fits, not because you were wrong, because you've outgrown the shell that once protected your truth.